We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out. What is it?
It's a time machine, Mo.
Get down.
Now.
It's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
From Las Vegas, Nevada, where they are hosting Media Day for the Mountain West Conference. Coaches today, players yesterday. It's the opening drive. Good morning to you. Jeff Symbieta, JJ back on Monday, me and DC. DC, I got an insane 1, maybe 2 second echo in my ear. I don't know if there's anything we could do on your side. That's kind of crazy sitting here. How you living today? What a day yesterday. Huh? The Enchantment, 77. Austin's own 66. Evan Gilliard, New Mexico State and UTEP star, 16 points with 9 turnovers. Hit the game winner, the final shot in the Ilabende. Enchantment out-rebounded the team of Texas alum. They got the crowd of Texas Tech people on their side. And they advanced to take on a really good team made up of Texas Tech alumni it'll be tomorrow. Fun time. Scott Bamforth had 13 points, the former Del Norte star. Christian Cunningham from Cibola had 13 points and 18 rebounds. And you get a winner last night. You had a big night out at Isotopes Park last night. Sunderland was in town for a friendly. They go through a preseason, a team out of the Champions League. Across the pond. They beat New Mexico United 3-2. Exciting night out there. If you were there, I want to talk to you about that. It's really crazy, dude. I don't know what we can do. Listen to myself coming back. If I stumble or stutter more than normal, I imagine, understand that I'm listening to myself about a second and a half later after I say it. It's kind of crazy. All right, we got a lot to do for you today, and I'm looking forward to it. We had a lot of good conversations yesterday. Talked to Gloria Nevarez. She's the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference, first-year commissioner. And that did it. Whatever you did, DC, that worked. She is going to be, a conversation with her at 8 o'clock this morning. You're going to get to hear that. It's interesting. And I think Gloria is really good for this league. And I thought Craig Thompson, I know many of you got tired of Craig over the first 25 years of this league. But I thought Craig did a really solid job positioning the league to where they are now. And you're going to say, where are they now? What are they now? Well, I think that they are solidly the most secure of the non-power leagues. Now, they were never going to be anything more than that, I don't think. And so that's the intent is for this league, the Mountain West, to position themselves as such. Gloria comes in with a different perspective, just fresh a little bit. And it feels like the majority of the people, the coaches, the athletic directors, the president seem to like what Gloria is doing. So we'll have a conversation with Gloria Nevarez at 8 o'clock this morning. 9 o'clock, we're going to catch up with Evan Gilliard, or at least that's the intent. The former Aggie, the former UTEP Miner, he led Enchantment with scoring in the basketball tournament yesterday, 16 points, including the three-pointer to seal it in the Elam ending. 9 turnovers, but I talked to Kenny Thomas after the game last night, and I'll give you a little bit of that conversation. But it was exciting, and I know for basketball fans, and this being such a basketball-crazed state and place, you care about that. And it was fun to watch. So we'll catch up with Evan Gilliard at 9 o'clock, and then at 9:40 this morning, conversation with Mike DeFee. He is the coordinator of officials for the Mountain West Conference, and the intent when I sat down with Mike was really kind of to talk about some of the rule changes, and we never got there, right? I mean, the rule changes in college football that you're going to notice is going to be how the clock doesn't stop after first downs, outside of the last 2 minutes of the second and fourth quarter. But it was more about officiating, how they find officials, who wants to be an official now, the abuse officials take. The business of officiating, the amount of things and rules and the constant change of officiating. I found it way more of an interesting conversation. You know, some of these you go into and you just don't know. And the league, actually, John Sullivan offered up. He's the former Lobo that was with us yesterday in charge of football for the Mountain West. He said, "Would you like to talk to the new director of officiating?" And I'm like, okay, whatever, sure. It ended up being way more interesting than I anticipated, and I think you'll enjoy that. So that'll be at 9:40. You can open it up for you at 505-246-0610. It's a Thursday morning where we have sports going on as well. The Open Championship is going on across the pond, Royal Liverpool in Hoylake, where an amateur is leading after his first round of the Open Championship. A lot of names still to go out this afternoon, but Christo Lamprecht, an amateur, shot a 5 under 66 at Royal Liverpool. He is your leader at the Open Championship, which is the final major of the year in professional golf. Tommy Fleetwood, after 15 holes, is one back at -4. A former champion, an American, Stuart Sink, and Marcel Seam at -3. Jordan Spieth shot a round of -2 today. He is 3 back. Adam Scott is also right there at -2. Patrick Reed, who went off as a big underdog, and I didn't understand why his odds were so big. Another American at -1, but there's only 21 players under par as we go. But a lot of the names are still on the golf course or will go out this afternoon. It is a gigantic field, but guys are still going out. I think I was looking at some of the names that go out late. Rory goes out late today, so I think you'll enjoy as we watch this. I'll keep you up to date on Justin Thomas goes out late, Tony Finau, a bunch of guys. John Daly's even going out, so I'll get you updates as we go through it. No Tiger Woods updates for you today. I know. I've got none of those. DC, how you living? What's going on back there? You all right?
Oh, I'm much better now. I'm sorry about that ring. But, it's funny you bring up John Daly. My dad met him at the Masters outside of the event. He apparently was selling some merchandise, and he had some pretty funny stories about that. I'm glad to hear he's out there.
Everybody likes John Daly.
I know,
right? Well, because he's every man, right? Because he's the golfer that he didn't try to be anything he wasn't. He was a chain smoking, drinking, chubby guy who looks like the guy at your local Muni, right? I mean, you don't see Justin Thomas at the local Muni. You don't see Jordan Spieth out at the public golf course. But John Daly seems like it's a guy that, let's be honest, right? More people can relate to that than can relate to maybe some of the other guys are out there. And he hit lightning in a bottle a couple of times or one time really, and became, I don't know, a guy that when people say, who would you like to have dinner with? John Daly. I'm like, wow, really? I hear that a lot, and good. Like, it's kind of cool. Did you watch any of the enchantment yesterday? Did you catch any of the TBT stuff?
I did.
The basketball tournament.
I did not.
Do you like that? Are you? And I guess I probably need to familiarize people a little bit with what the TBT is. So, it is a. This is I think it was before COVID it started up. It's a basketball tournament of non-NBA players. So a lot of these guys are playing pro all over the world, and they're playing for $1 million. It's get to the final, win this thing, and you guys split $1 million. And so we kind of started out as just guys getting together, and then it became alumni teams, and it's kind of a midsummer staple now in the basketball world and around here. This is the third time Enchantment has got together, and it started out as a group of UNM alumni, and then last year, recall, they added Scott Bamforth, the former Del Norte guy, who was the leading scorer on the team. They won one game last year against a team called Panamaniacs, who was made up of New Mexico State alumni, and this year they kind of merged it together, and it's hard to keep cobbling these guys together from all over the world, and literally that's what you're doing is guys coming back from playing all over the world. And so they put together a team of guys mostly with New Mexico ties, and Christian Cunningham, who had 18 rebounds, and they just dominated this team from Texas on the boards, is a Cibola High guy. Scott Bamforth, Del Norte. Evan Gilliard played at New Mexico State. And Kenny Thomas is coaching him, the former Lobo great, the former Sacramento King and Houston Rocket, Phoenix Sun. And I talked to Kenny after the game last night, and I thought Kenny did a really nice job. And coming up in the next segment, we'll break this down a little bit further. But he just said, I got a good team. I got a good team. Now, the team they're going to play next, this team of Texas Tech alumni, and it's going to be in Lubbock in the Texas Tech Arena, so it'll be a road game, is really good. But the tournament's fun. These guys care. They want to play. And when we come back, I'll give you a little bit more of what Kenny had to say, and you'll hear from Evan Gilliard at 9 o'clock. So we're going to talk about that. We'll get into the NFL, Saquon Barkley stuff. The Jets and Lions have made a trade. Saquon's threatening to hold out. And what I would love to hear throughout the day, and I'm cool if you just jump in at any time on this one. If you were at United's match last night, the friendly against Sunderland, the British team, the team that came over, the Champions League team that is going through their preseason tour, they played a friendly last night, 3-2 United fall. They got a late penalty kick to make it 3-2. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the atmosphere out there, the experience, and was it everything that you expected it to be? So we'll do that. But when we come back, I want to dive a little bit into TBT, the basketball tournament, the Enchantment. Did you watch it last night? 505-246-0610 is how to get here. Did you watch it and your thoughts on it? It's the opening drive. Jeff and DC on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen Show podcast.
They will be.
line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there as La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch, and she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one sent on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her! Whoa, what a play!
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
know why. That voice comes up. DC. So one of my favorite always was the starter at the Open Championship, the British Open as it was. The gentleman who retired a few years ago on the tee from the USA, Tiger Woods. That dude, like he was on the tee from the USA, Jordan Spieth. It's kind of, I don't know. Little things that stick out from your childhood. Yeah, it is. Tommy Fleetwood. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, the voice. It is one of those things that you say it. It's hilarious. Everyone remembers that.
Yeah, I saw you smile. That's good. You got a little something. Tommy Fleetwood is now joined at the top of the leaderboard. There's a amateur named Christo Lamprecht. 5 under. He shot a 66 today. He's leading. He's in the clubhouse. Tommy Fleetwood's he's on 17 right now at -5. If you're looking for it, I had to look around for it too. USA Network is where the coverage is. If you just wanted to throw it on when you get to the office or whatever it is. All right. So last night in Lubbock, Enchantment 77, a team called Austin's Own 66. So the Enchantment, coached by Kenny Thomas, moves on in the TBT. They're around 32, and they're still alive for the $1 million. I spoke with Kenny afterwards, and we're going to hear at 9 o'clock this morning, Evan Gilliard, who the former Aggie, the former UTEP guard, who led Enchantment in scoring last night with 16 points, and he had a crazy night. 9 turnovers for the guy who's got the ball in his hand a lot, but he got hot late, and they win. So we're going to hear from him on winning the game, the winning shot, playing with a bunch of Lobos, how that feels, and after the game, they take you over, they give you your name, and you get to advance your team in the bracket, and he slapped the Enchantment's name on the bracket and knocked the whole board over, and okay. But this was interesting. They out-rebounded, did the New Mexico team, the Enchantment, like dominant. 12 of the Enchantment's 20 offensive rebounds. They had 20 offensive rebounds. Led to a 17-2 second half points advantage. They outscored them in second half points 70-2. They didn't shoot well, 41.8 from the field. But and they turned the ball over 17 times. But you're watching it, and I again, if you watch it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, DC, I'm watching this game. Came upstairs right after all the sessions and watched it. They were absolutely dominating this team, and it was only 3 points at halftime. Enchantment was up, and Kenny had them in a zone, and I talked to him afterwards. I said, I thought you did a really good job coming out of the zone. I thought they were way better guarding them man-to-man. But then after 3 quarters, they were down by 1. And if you're not familiar with the Elam ending at the first whistle under 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, they had 8 points to the leading score. There's a target score. So in this case, the target score was, I think it was 76. So it's 76 minus 8. It was 68. Kenny called a timeout. They were up by 5, and there's some highlights of it on the video feed by Adrian, and appreciate you putting that up. Thank you for finding that. Christian Cunningham from Cibola High School at 18. So this isn't a Lobo alumni team, and I'm wondering how you guys feel about watching it. Do you like it more or less that it's while not all Lobos, it's a good team, and that's one thing Kenny said to me. He said, I got a really good team. Like, he thinks this is the best team he's had of the 3. Scott Bamforth was not shooting real well early, found it in the second half. The young man from Del Norte, who really, really just blew you all away last year, was the leading scorer on the team last year. But they combined forces, and so there's Lobos and Aggies. I thought Johnny McCants, the former Aggie, played really well. Roman Martinez had 11 points. Troy Simons, a couple of former Lobos. Darrington Hobson wasn't there. Vance Jackson's not there. They were expecting Vance Jackson, the former Lobo, to play. He's not there. Darrington Hobson was on our plane coming back to Vegas. He is not feeling well, hoping that maybe he gets out to Lubbock and is able to play tomorrow. But it was fun, man. It was, DC, this is, and you'll learn this as we go through the fall. People love their hoops around here. Like opening day basketball, when they open practice, it's like a state holiday around here. This is, it's a basketball crazy state. I don't know that I think it's a basketball only state. People love them a lot of football. They love baseball, but but basketball crazy in the state. You'll experience come March a state high school basketball tournament that is as good as any state basketball tournament in America. The pit will fill up from people from all corners of the state. They love Lowell basketball. They love Aggie basketball. And so this tournament, this event has become something pretty big, and it's almost become a midsummer thing where I don't know, 5-6 years ago, Cameron Bairstow, the former Lobo second round pick of the Bulls, who played in the NBA for a while, was setting up alumni games in the summer. And then it was an alumni game one year of all Lobos coming back. And oh my goodness, it's so great to see this dude and that guy. And then the next year they played a Lobo alumni game against an Aggie alumni game. And I tell JJ he was out of town or something, but it was the best Lobo Aggie game I had seen in years. It was intense. It went down to the wire. It was awesome. And then they started with the enchantment and different forms of it. And the novelty may be off, but it looks a little different every year. And to see the enchantment representing New Mexico with Zia's on their shorts and talking about, it was Seth Greenberg was the commentator on ESPN and over in Texas. I just thought it was good for basketball, it was a fun watch. It was just a fun watch.
Can you explain, though, you mentioned they added points. I'm unfamiliar with that. What is the purpose of that?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the Elam ending. So there's a push now to add the Elam ending to a lot of different leagues, a lot of different ways. So instead of playing it out to a clock, the concept is ends of games turn into free shooting contests. It's not fun to watch. They're fouling you, trying to stop the clock. So the concept is the first whistle under 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. So once it ticks under 4 minutes, 3:55, whatever, if you have the ball and you're winning, you call a timeout. The first whistle under 4 minutes, they add 8 points to the team leading, right? So in this case, Enchantment had 66 points? 68 points. They had 68 points. And say, okay, the target score is 76. First team to 76 wins. So you're guaranteed that, well, not guaranteed because I guess you could do it with a free throw, but you get a shot. You don't have that fouling, the hacking, the stopping the clock. You just have a different ending to the game. And there's a lot of people, not everybody, but there's a lot of people who really, really, really like the Elam ending. And in this tournament, that's kind of part of the charm of it. So you almost always get a walk-off shot, right? And Puma, who's a sponsor of the TBT, is offered $1,000. And look, these guys are all playing all over the world. $1,000, $1,000. They've offered $1,000 to anybody who hits the game-winning shot if they are wearing Pumas. All right. It's an incentive, I imagine. But there's all kinds of quirky little things that they put into it. But the Elam ending, so you've never seen that before?
No, I'm not. And as you explain it, I got to say it's very interesting. It's something that I do want to see. Because I can see how
it's something.
The Foul Fest at the end does get old. So that's a different way to approach it. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's become popular. The people who love it. And there's purists who go, no, let's just play basketball, let the clock run out, and it's a timed game. But it's a different look, a different feel, and certainly and there's a different strategy to it now, right? There's just a different strategy that you've got to figure out as you get there. And Kenny called the timeout, right? So I want to say they were up by 5 when it hit 4 minutes and they had the ball. And they got to the front court, called timeout, and that sets the score, right? Now, if you were down by 5, you would play it out, try to score, knowing that they're going to call timeout, they get it, and drop it to 3 or 4 points, or 2 points if you can hit a 3, right? And get yourself closer to the target score. So it's a different look at it. But it was fun. It was fun, and they've never advanced past this round. The round of 32 in this tournament has Enchantment. They'll play a team called Air Raiders, bunch of former Texas Tech players, and it's going to be in Texas Tech's gym, so they'll certainly be the non-crowd favorite, but that's who they get tomorrow, and I believe the game's 7 o'clock Mountain Time, and it'll be on ESPN Plus tomorrow, so if you want to get into that, that's there for you. All right, I am open on the text line. It is 505, the Sports Animal text line, 505-246-0610. The Sports Animal hotline is 505-246-0610. Let me give you the guest list again if you're just joining us. Gloria Nevarez, the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference. The conversation we had with her yesterday. We're going to start our Mountain West stuff with her at 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock, Evan Gilliard's going to be with us. He who hit the winning shot in the game last night in Lubbock. And then at 9:40, Mike DeFee. And again, when I tell you conversation with the director of officiating, don't just go, oh, what are you doing? No, it's DC. You ever talk to an official? Have you ever sat down and talked to like guys who officiate games?
In passing, I have, yes.
All right, this was obviously a guy who was passionate about it, but it was way more interesting than they thought, and it was about how do you get who's officiating? But he talked about the abuse that they're taking from more so from people at youth games, the parents, and talked about the. I think you're going to enjoy the conversation. I really do. That'll be at 9:40 this morning. All right, when we come back, let's go into the NFL. There's a trade with the New York Jets and the Lions involving wide receivers. What does that mean and who benefits? I will tell you that. And is Saquon really going to sit out? He sure is talking a lot about it. What that would mean for him and the Giants if Saquon sits out. It's next, and it's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Brought to you by the Albuquerque.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US
Eagle. Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit.
There's a little different look to the British Open, right? The Open Championship, as you will, than there is other tournaments. Don't you think, DC? Like there, you see stuff in the Open Championship that you just don't see anywhere else. They're playing at Royal Liverpool, and it's one of those typical British links courses. During the break, I was just watching Sepp Straka. He was in one of those greenside pot bunkers, you know, the ones basically with the walls that go straight up, and his only option, he had to come out backwards. So he comes out of the sand backwards to this weird lie, DC, and when he played the next shot, I'm like, what are you doing? He had to play it between these two bunkers, and he ran it into the side of the hill. It was one of the greatest up and downs I've ever seen. He went backwards out of a greenside bunker, chipped it into a hill, let it roll down the hill, and the place went nuts. It's just, you see different stuff at this tournament. Opening drive, Jeff and DC, glad you're with us today. The Open Championship is underway, and you've got this Christo Lamprecht. He's an amateur. He is your leader. Tommy Fleetwood is on 18. He's also tied. They're both at -5. I'll keep you up to date as we go. All right, a little trade in the NFL, and this isn't groundbreaking. This isn't earth-shattering. This is, if you're not going to be Aaron Rodgers' guy, then we're going to get you out of New York. Jets have traded a wide receiver, Denzel Mims, to the Lions. Lions get a 2025 7th-round pick, and the Jets get a 6th-round pick. So this isn't a big deal. It's just he was going to be like the 5th or 6th receiver, but he's just all right. We're bringing in a bunch of receivers. Whichever one Aaron likes, we'll keep, and whichever ones Aaron doesn't, we're going to send him to the Lions, basically. But this is right. This isn't going to shake it. It's just another weapon for Jared Goff, and so and you won't. He misses Hard Knocks by a year. He goes to last year's Hard Knocks team and doesn't get to star on Hard Knocks. I mean,
it's interesting though.
It's not that big of a deal.
Out of Jets camp, Aaron's favorite receiver, Randall Cobb, apparently is injured. So that trade did.
Yes.
I kind of wonder what the plan is there, because they basically lost 2 receivers yesterday.
Yeah, but again, Aaron's got to be in on it, and it's whoever he wants. So I think we're good. This is much more significant, especially the Cowboy fan. Zach Martin, he's their team captain, or one of their team captains. He's a 6-time All-Pro offensive lineman. He's not, or at least considering not, reporting to training camp. He is unhappy about his contract, and evidently the team is not interested in restructuring his contract. He says he is, quote, woefully underpaid relative to the market, end quote. He's making roughly $7 million this season. Again, perspective, right? Which is less than the other top paid guards. And again, if you're not familiar, I don't want to dumb this down to you too much. Center, and then the next guy out from the center is the guard, and the next guy out from that is the tackles. So he's on the interior of the line. Chris Lindstrom of the Falcons and Quentin Nelson of the Colts are at the top of that list. Do you know what they average? Do you know what their average salary is for the top guards, those two guys?
It's around $20 million a year.
It's around $20 million a year. And Zach Martin saying he's making only $7. He was First team All-Pro for the 6th time last year. He's 32 years old, and he's really good. And there are stats on offensive linemen, right? They do grade them out. He gave up 3 sacks on 96% pass block win rate last year. That's offensive line stats. That's really best. It's 8th best in the league. It's really good. It's not really best. It's really good. And so I guess there were brief discussions between his representatives and the Cowboys back in February about reworking his deal. And look, he signed the deal. You can say, look, man, you signed the deal. This is what you wanted. And there is that conversation. But they didn't get it done. Now, at least they didn't get it done where he wanted it done. The Cowboys did restructure his contract for the 5th straight year to help create salary cap space and turn nearly $12 million of his $13.5 million base salary into signing bonus. So he got some of it up front. So I think this is something that you do need to watch as we go into camp. And there's a number of personnel things now. As camps are opening this week, you're going to start seeing guys report. You're going to see injury news. You're going to see all kinds of stuff. But there are a number of these to watch. That certainly is one of them. And then Saquon Barkley is probably the front and foremost on this thing. Not only because he's running back, because the position, but he's really talking about it, right? And he went on the podcast and he said that his leverage, he may hold out. And this is, it gets interesting. My leverage, and I know we discussed this briefly yesterday, but as I listened to more of it yesterday, quote, my leverage is, I could say bleep you to the Giants. I could say bleep you to my teammates and be like, you want me to show you my worth? You want me to show you how valuable I am to the team? I won't show up. I won't play it down. And that's a play I could use. Anybody who knows me knows that's not something I want to do. Is it something that's crossed my mind? I never thought I would ever do that. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, Jesus, I might have to take it to this level. Am I prepared to take it to this level? I don't know, end quote. Now, why doesn't he know? Well, because if he doesn't play, he doesn't get his $10.1 million. And $10.1 million is significant. I think, what's he holding out for? I mean, does he want 12? Does he want 13?
Well, the rumors were that they offered 13, but the guarantee wasn't high enough. So it sounds to me he's looking for a huge guarantee or something closer to 15.
Well, he's not going to get 15. The highest paid is McCaffrey at 16. I mean, look, I shouldn't sit here and say he's not going to get it. Maybe he will. I mean, is he as good as McCaffrey? I don't know. He's really good when he's healthy. He's had a problem staying healthy. Now, his leverage is, I'm getting hurt playing for you. You want me to put myself out there, my livelihood, my health, then to compensate me. And the answer is, we're offering you, would you just tell me 13?
That's
a pretty good number.
That's a really good number.
Yeah, for the running back market, that's really good. He's not getting $20 million like the offensive lineman is. He's not. That's not what that position's getting. And again, we had this conversation yesterday. Is that a problem? I don't know. For running backs, it's a problem. It's not a problem for anybody else. I got to believe at some point he's going to play. Now, the issue is, do you see this cannot be solved? It cannot be solved anymore because the NFL rules state if you are tagged as a franchise player, which he's been tagged with or given the franchise tag, then you had until Monday at 2:00 Mountain Time to come to an agreement on a long-term deal. And if you do not come to an agreement by that deadline, then you can't have, and I'm not sure I understand why this is. Do you? You can't, that's the deadline. Now you either play on the tag or you don't play, and you can't negotiate again until next off season. So he's got nowhere to go on this. He didn't take the $13 million, so his options are very, very simple now. This isn't, let's go back and renegotiate and figure it out. Now, the Jets could say, look, we'll give you this next year. And then you got to take him on their word, and if he goes out and gets hurt, they're going, well, dude, we didn't know you were going to blow out your knee again, right? There's no option. He's got two options. Play and make $10.1 million. Don't play and make nothing. Or hold out and make, lose a game check for every week you're holding out, right? There are no other options. Well, do you know why Because I honestly don't. Why the NFL is structured thusly in regards to this, why you hit that deadline and nope, you cannot sign a player again.
No, I do not know why. I will research that. I'm guessing it has something to do with the CBA agreement, but it does seem odd that you wouldn't be able to negotiate.
Doesn't it?
It
right
really
here, here's a deadline.
Really does.
Boom.
You'd think you would
now
encourage
look,
that.
there was a right now. Granted, there was a big window for them to get this done. It's not like they have 3 days, right? There was plenty of time to get it done. They didn't do it by then, but I'm not sure why. Okay, now you guys can't agree on a deal. You cannot come to a deal. So I don't understand it. But that's where we are. All right, 505-246-0610. That's how to get to us here at The Sports Animal. I'll update you on the leaderboard at the Open Championship. And at 8 o'clock, coming up here in about 16 minutes, conversation JJ and I had yesterday in Las Vegas with the conference commissioner of the Mountain West, Gloria Nevares. It's the opening drive. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. If you were at the match last night, also, I'd love to hear from you, Sunderland and New Mexico United, and your thoughts on Enchantment's victory here on The Sports Animal.
This report is paid for by National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I always come back from these DC, and I'm like, wow, I like this guy. I like that. I usually like the coaches, and we'll do that today. The student athletes, I enjoyed that probably more than the coaches. I usually like talking to players anyway, more than coaches. But some of them just backstories, and when you loosen them up a little bit and get them talking about, I think you'll enjoy some of the conversations that we're bringing back. Most of them, I think you're going to really like, and the ones that we don't think are very good, and there are very few of them. We won't play for you, but I thought it was good. Different guys, different backgrounds. I mean, you know what. One young man from Hawaii telling me, I'm just an island kid and I'm happy to just play football. And you got guys who are probably going to be pros next year. So it was really good. Text line's open. The Sports Animal is here for you today. And thank you for taking the time to listen to us today and every day. No, you've got a lot of options. You got a lot of things you can be doing every morning, and appreciate you taking time to spend with us and be part of the show. It's 505-246-0610 on the text line and the phone line. It says ancient old interview, how lazy. Actually, not really. So yesterday we at the end of the show we did run the Danny Gonzalez conversation from July 5th. I had to be downstairs for the commissioner at 8:30, and that's what we did that yesterday. DC, that was hardly lazy. In fact, that was actually a bunch of extra work. So I know many of you, first of all, that's one of our most downloaded podcasts of, I think, period, like that conversation. And many of you had not heard that because it was like the day after the holiday. So if you felt that was lazy, sorry, but not sorry, because that was right. It was hardly lazy. That was actually us doing a little extra work to get some more content, right, DC? So I appreciate you putting that together. But what I also appreciate is the feedback on the text line. You're in on a bunch of stuff. Omaha, says Dan. Jeffrey and Derek Charles with no Juan Jose. Who is the emergency OD host in case you get called away on official New Mexico Bowl business? I guess that would be you, right, dude?
Yeah, it'd probably be me and BV, I bet.
Ooh. All right.
In case of an emergency. But you're here. You're not going anywhere.
And I'll be right back there in studio tomorrow next to you, if that's okay. Assuming my key card still works and everything's still good. Omar wants to move Cam's game and this game. Omar should be in charge, in Omar's mind, of the sports schedule. So Jeff, he said, July 19th on a Wednesday afternoon is an awkward time for a random basketball game. Why not use it as part of a massive return of Lobo Sports kickoff weekend. Maybe encourage folks by selling one pass that gets you into every contest. Women's soccer can play Thursday night. Lobo volleyball Friday. Lobo football versus Tennessee Tech on Saturday. And to wrap it all up, Cam's game Sunday night. They need to make opening weekend a spectacular that will make folks want to go to the games. So I'll tell you, first of all, you don't. The sports schedule is a sports schedule, right? The basketball tournament is part of something way bigger than just some exhibition game. It fits into the television calendar on ESPN. It fills content. There's a lot of money in it. Secondly, Omar, I'll ask you this, and you can respond. If it was set up as you say, would you go to all of them? Would you go to all those events? Or would you be more likely to go to a game if it was spread out as opposed to saying, I'm going to go, honey, what are we doing this weekend? Well, baby, I'll tell you what. We're going to Lobo Women's Soccer on Thursday, and we're going to go to the Lobo Volleyball game on Friday, and then we're going to Lobo Football on Saturday, and then we're going to watch the old guys on Sunday, okay? And she's going to say, what? Just curious how that's going to go for you. I mean, I don't hate the concept of a big blowout, bring everybody back together, but yeah, that's why the sports schedule works. It's kind of crazy how simple yet intricate it is, right? I mean, we go straight out of the open into camp. The World Cup, the Women's World Cup is going. It starts today. Team USA plays today. I mean, we got so many big things. I always called July. I always thought it was International Month, right? You got the Tour de France, and you had Wimbledon. And usually, if you know the years that there's a World Cup, it's right about now. And the Olympics, when there's Olympics, it's Summer Olympics, and the Open Championship it's Scottish Open last year. I always think of this as International Month, and it's pretty good. But yeah, the calendar just flows, man. And actually, I thought a Wednesday night in July. I don't know what else you were watching last night. You had the friendly. Somebody asked on the text line, how do you feel about United playing a breeze or an exhibition during the season? It's their thing, man. That's what they do. I don't have a problem with it. It looked like the fans were entertained last night. If you were out there, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. When we come back, she has been on the job. What's today? July 20th? Is that right? So 6 months and 20 days. It's her first Mountain West Conference Media Days as commissioner. Kind of a little from the horse's mouth where the league is right now, where it's headed. A conversation JJ and I had with Mountain West Commissioner Gloria Navarez. That is next. What day is today? Wednesday? Is today Thursday? It's Thursday. Happy Thursday. Thanks for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in
time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
She took the podium yesterday for the first time as commissioner of this league and sat down with us, and I just want to hear a few things from her. I will preface this. I like Gloria. I've spent some time with her. I think she is going to be good, and I let her know that. I think they've got the right person at the right time for this league to go where they want to go. But here's our conversation yesterday with Mountain West Commissioner Gloria Nevarez. Media day as commissioner for. Are you still new? Gloria Nevarez is the commissioner. At what point is the job not new anymore? I don't know. I don't know the answer. At 5 years? All right. Fair enough. So brand new Commissioner Gloria Nevarez. How's it been? Look, you've been a commissioner before, but not of this league at this event. And this is a pretty big one. This kicks off not only football season, the whole academic and athletic year. How's it gone for you? Anything unexpected?
How amazing this setup is.
It's pretty nice.
This is our first year, but I've heard from all of our
it's nice.
Here, this is one of the best setups that we've achieved. They're liking the popcorn and the flag, and so yeah.
The important stuff.
Exactly.
All right,
snacks and socks.
Yeah,
Apparently.
Snacks and socks. Do you get your socks? Yeah. Everybody needs socks, especially at 114 degrees in sandals. Hey, so let's a couple of the obvious things out of the way and things that we've got to address. Hey, we've talked about San Diego State ad nauseum, but I think our people need to hear it from you, not us interpreting. So I said the last couple of weeks, I believe when it's all said and done, the league's going to look for the next couple of years like it did the last few years. They'll figure it out. It's kind of where we are, aren't we?
Yes, and from the beginning, I've always said, we're better with San Diego State in the league, and I would say that about any of the schools in our league right now. And back in '99, the Mountain West, the original disruptors, right? It was unheard of to start their own league. Now it's our everyday, right? And so I just think we have policies that are designed not to make it completely prohibitive, but not to make it easy either for a school to leave us. And if they do, there are triggers that protect the league, right? And to make us whole, to right-size our media contracts.
Gloria, it's business. You've got to protect yourself.
It is.
And I think San Diego State understands it, and the fans do. And okay, so we're past that. But you said something, and it's an everyday occurrence that you're talking about some sort of conference realignment, and whether that means you losing or adding or whatever it means, that's kind of everyday common business for a commissioner now. And I don't know, does it take up an inappropriate amount of time?
Yes, it takes inappropriate. It's the most appropriate.
Well, it is, but you've got so much other business to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And ironically, when my first day at the West Coast Conference, I was dealing with the Mountain West sniffing around Gonzaga. And then my first day at the Mountain West, my former conference, the Pac-12, sniffing around San Diego State. So, I also think an important piece of this is, I told our schools I'm not going to mount a campaign to keep you from doing what's best for your institution. Let's just communicate, right? Let's just not get caught flat-footed. And in this case, I think it's okay to also have a graceful way back in.
That's right.
Because, again, I think we're better for a stable membership.
Gloria Nevares is the new commissioner of the Mountain West Conference with us on The Sports Animal. How many scenarios do you have right now? I'm not asking what they are, but I mean, seriously, if that league's here, if that league's not here, if they take this team, if that team goes, if that league blows up, we can take them. Is it fair to say there's 10, 12, 14 different scenarios on the board?
Absolutely, and a large part of this exercise is trying to sort fact from fiction.
Yes.
And our ADs have been great about calling me up saying, hey, I don't know how true this is, but this is what I've heard, and I can chase it down. And to your point, it's a lot of time and energy, but it's probably the most important time and energy as far as league consistency and stability.
Will it quiet down? Will it quiet down once everybody's TV rights are redone?
I hope so. I think so. I'm optimistic that it will.
Until the next round. Yeah.
One of the things that I appreciate listening to you is you understand that this is a business and it's still college athletics, but there's a big business side to it, and it's easy for the fans to have hurt feelings, but you can't have, it can't be personal. And for you, how important is it just to keep everyone on the same page that, hey, this is just the business of college athletics and you can't get upset if something happens?
Yeah, and certainly, we had open communication, myself to the president, myself to athletic director, our board, and it really is the job of the commissioners to protect the league. The job of the board is to protect the league, and the job of the president and the AD is to protect the school, and 99% of the time those objectives align. And when they don't, we have policies to help us do that. And while it's uncomfortable, I thought it worked the way it was supposed to work. And I think every one of the schools in our league are as they're working through this issue, thinking that could be us someday.
Well, I think that's the reality, right? Everyone in that room, if they have the opportunity to get more money, and we can say resource, we can call it whatever the heck we want. If they have this opportunity to play at a level where they have more money to get more of this and more of everything, they're all going to jump at it. And so in that regard, you say everybody, typically you're aligned. But everybody, they got to be looking across the room saying, hey, you're telling me this, but I'm hearing this. How much, I don't know if the word's distrust, but how much can you actually trust everybody that's sitting in that room when theoretically you're supposed to be pulling on the same end of the rope?
And again, I'm not going to get into the details of the specific situation, but what I do really appreciate about our board is the candor, the transparency, and the frank talk that they're able to have in their rooms, respect among the presidents. And, one of the things, when you're in the middle of an ecosystem, your talk is going to be aspirational. Look what we did for TCU. Look what the Mountain West has done for Utah. San Diego State came in at the bottom of the league. Look what we do to our student athletes with the transfer portal. Coaches for the first time in the chair. ADs, presidents who serve for the first time in our league. If that's who we are, let's be the best at that and make sure we're constantly backfilling and finding that next pool of talent. And you know what? Many of our very talented folks that have grown up, got better, they come back. That's another thing, and it reminded me of this. How many people in the league that went to school at a number, coached, got their start, and are still around the league?
What's surprised you the most about the Mountain West? Whether it's just the universities, maybe some cities, you come in, you know college athletics, you know the experience, but has there been anything that you've just been like, wow, this is something I didn't expect?
Well, I talked about in my opening, all the constituents. We got feedback from over 10,000 different Mountain West stakeholders, from media members to, students to donors to ticket holders. And what really is heartwarming to me is commonality, the grittiness. We are a conference of firsts and opportunities, and you're going to make more with less. And there aren't a lot of silver spoons, you know. Blue collar, work ethic seems cliche, but those are who our schools are, right? No one's going to outwork us. It's relentless.
There's Gloria Navarez is the commissioner of Mountain West Conference with us on the Sports Animal. There's an opportunity right now, and I think this league, and I know. I mean, you had a team in the Final Four. You perform well in bowl games. You perform well at a national level. You perform well against the quote-unquote power conferences. There's an opportunity to establish some sense of stability, security at a really well-respected level. And I know you know it. But how do you make sure you capitalize it? And I know that's a really vague question, but it is. I think it's a key time for this league to say, not only are we there, but we can establish ourselves as that brand.
Yeah. And that's what, when I talk about branding, I think is the role that we can play in this league. Because we don't recruit athletes, hire coaches to build facilities, but we're the megaphone and the platform to talk about how great we are across the league. And when the selection committee or the media members that are doing the rankings think about, oh, that team came out of the Mountain West, wow, they're really tough. They must have had a tough schedule, or they played a lot of good talent. That's the kind of resonance I want for Mountain West.
So then when you look early in the football season and you look at everybody's schedule, whether it's playing Texas Tech or Vanderbilt or whoever it is, right? You've got so many opportunities. And I used to talk to Craig about this a lot. You schedule, but now you got to win some of those games, right?
You do.
And you've begun to. How important is it? I don't even know how to quantify it, but when you look at it, it feels like those games are really important, not just to play them. But we got to pick off as a league. You got to say we got to win 3, 4, 5, 6 of those.
You do, and scheduling is such an art, and you have to know where your team is at any given time. But if you can come into conference play, you being the collective of all of our teams have a robust winning percentage coming into league play, it really makes it lifts all the teams in the league.
Basketball's the example of that. I mean, basketball's the clear example of that.
Yeah. Well, in basketball, you have so many more games, but
you did it in basketball.
And we had over a 70% winning percentage coming out of non-conference into league play. So even when you stumble or stub your toe against a team and lose against one you're not supposed to, you don't drop off the face of the net ranking because the strength of our non-conference schedule is so good.
So much of college athletics has nothing to do with athletics anymore. It's just all the challenges, and one of the things you used, and it was taboo, but it's the reality, is it's dealing with pay for play. Name, image, and likeness that is, hey, you are actually doing a commercial or you are getting something, as opposed to pay for play. What's it like just trying to navigate that road right now?
You know, so interesting. Our student athletes had such a handle on this. They were so pragmatic, by and large thought it was a very positive thing, but they understood the effects on the individual. How do I feel if I'm not getting a big deal, or what do I do if I'm coming onto the team and I'm the biggest deal on the team? And the ripple effects through the locker room, we had a really interesting conversation about that, but we also talked about pay for play, and we just haven't been able to get our arms as an association, not just as a league, around using NIL for pay for play, and we just need congressional help to do that.
You and I had this conversation in Nashville, I think, about they've got to wrap their arms around it, and I remember asking you, who are they? Right, and you're like, exactly. Is they now Congress? Is that who they are?
I'm very excited about new NCAA president Charlie Baker. I think he's got a very clear platform. I'm going to oversimplify it. He's way smarter than I am and has a much better talking point. But really, what we need.
He's just newer.
I'm still brand new. But what we need from Congress is in simplistic forms, two things. One, we have so many state laws about NIL. We need to level set that, right? Because you can't have national policy from the NCAA.
But you're going to get battles from the states that are not getting their way, right? You're going to, and that's why. How long is this going to take? This state does it this way. They're going to battle over this.
If we could just clear the decks and allow the NCAA the authority to make policy, to limit and govern pay for play, but also then be protected from antitrust litigation in that forum, right? Because when you're controlling and limiting things on cross state lines, you may open up antitrust.
All right, just a few more minutes. The commissioner of the Mountain West Conference, Gloria Navarez, is with us on the Sports Animal.
Well, with that, we know your job title. It's going to be about dealing with challenges, overcoming stuff. Well, what excites you? Like, what do you look for? Is it just being a chance to be at a football game, being at a basketball game? Like, the happiness, the reminder
hanging
of,
out with us.
This is why I wanted to work in athletics.
My worst day working in college athletics, I'm still working in college athletics. I'm dealing with the young people that are student athletes. At a conference office, you're, a couple steps away from being on campus and getting to know the student athletes, but still, I love getting to campus. I love meeting our young people. They're just so incredible. It kind of brings me back, and it's just high energy, high fun, and the affinity that comes along with college sports is just, you can't replace your alma mater.
I know you got a lot to do. I'm going to get you out on this, and it's something that probably isn't on your docket. But you mentioned how this league is a league of firsts, and we talk about a lot of the firsts. One of the firsts I rarely hear mentioned is this was the first league that had its own network. And the Mountain went away, and there's the SEC network and the Pac-12 networks or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't get them on my television provider, but. Is there any talk about bringing back a Mountain West network? The Mountain did an incredible service after they got the distribution figured out. And I remember the day it went away. I said, people are going to miss the programming on this network. And as much as people complained about it. But this league was first to that. Is there any talk about something like that?
Well, we haven't gotten full on, hey, let's launch a new network. We haven't had that conversation.
That's a
but
big
we have
task.
darn it, I wish we had kept that network. I have heard that a couple times.
It provided a lot of content, and it gave you, again, the platform where you control the message, and this league was first.
Linear collegiate conference network.
Yeah. You having fun with this?
I am. It's a blast.
You're doing. You killed it. It was good to see you up there today. It was good to see the response. Best of luck. It's an incredible job to have. It's an incredibly tough job and an incredible time in this industry. But it feels like this conference is lucky to have you. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you. Very, very fortunate to be with the league.
This report is sponsored by GeneratorFranchise.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all. Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are
included. He kept the league together through some really tough times. I think you all probably remember when the WAC, there was a morning years ago, Carl Benson of the WAC thought that he had taken UNLV and San Diego State and Nevada, and they were going to the WAC. That's when Boise State and Fresno State came from the WAC to the Mountain West, but everybody thought it was going the other way. He did great things. Gloria's going to be good for this league. She seems to have a good mixture of personality, understanding, and there's a good firmness to her, from what I understand, in all of the meetings that matter, right? The policy stuff, the sit down stuff, and some of the coaches I talked to yesterday who were skeptical when I saw them back in football season have kind of changed their tune. It was, well, she doesn't come from a football league, and we need someone from a football league. And I think they've softened on her. There's going to be a rebrand. They're going with at the peak. You're going to see something different. What do you think of this? Did I ever tell you this, DC? So in Nashville, she was telling me about a rebrand. I said, well, who is the Mountain West? And she said, well, we're so diverse. We're the mountains, and we're the beaches, and we're the people, and we're the hardworking, and and she said all these things. And I said, what about we are you, like with a big U, like a university U, the Mountain West, we are you. And look, I don't know that that's good or bad, but I said, it kind of feels like that's everything you just said. Is that horrible?
No, actually, you have mentioned that, and I really liked it, because I thought in terms of branding, it opens a lot of doors, and it's kind of hip, it's new. I liked it. I really did.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going with it, but I thought she was good on the San Diego State thing, and I know this is in her press conference yesterday, in press conference or speech, whatever it was, when she opens it up, there were a number of people from San Diego, from Boise, and it was interesting the perspective from which outlet, from where the questions were coming. And look, she was very rehearsed on this. She wasn't getting into the details. She wasn't letting you into the room. And she said, look, here's where we are, and that's what I'm going to say. But it ended where I told you it was going to end. San Diego State was coming back in the league because you cannot give a scenario that is real where the league is better without San Diego State. San Diego State makes the league better, just like BYU made the league better. So it was going to land right where it landed. The Aztecs were going to be back in the league for how long? For how long they want to be, man. It's like you at New Mexico or them at Boise State or Colorado State or UNLV or whoever else. If they and when they get the opportunity to go to another league, if it comes up where they're going to have more resources, that means more money, right? They're going to play on bigger networks, and they're going to get more money. They're going to go just like you would. There was no fine. There was no reentry fee. And I know there were some of you who wanted that to happen. There were some people in the league who wanted that to happen, said that had to happen. San Diego State paid the legal fees on this. It was south of $100,000, and their distribution of I believe the number was $6.6 million, which was their distribution, has been released to San Diego State. And that's how it was going to be. There was no legal way to go hold their feet to the fire, as people were saying, and try to get this done. And it was awkward. It was uncomfortable. It was interesting from the San Diego State media side. Well, I mean, why wouldn't you just? They never left the league, and the other side, people were saying they did, dude. Did you read the letter they sent? Adela De La Torre probably could have handled this differently. She's the president at San Diego State. There probably could have been phone calls instead of emails. There probably could have been, if there was going to be that letter or email, probably could have been worded differently, where instead of saying we intended to leave, we're exploring options. The intent of that letter was to ask for an extension of the deadline and to ask for a reduction of the exit fee. The league was going to say no either way, whether you asked on the phone call or in a letter or whatever. So there was a lot of ways it could have been done, but like you're past that now. I know there's going to be some hard feelings from fans, maybe even from some institutions internally. But that's where that ended. And DC, I don't know that anybody is going to come back surprised on it. I mean, don't you feel that was the ending that we were headed to, that there was no other way to go on this?
Yeah, it really, over time, it did feel like this is the natural conclusion. So, there's a lot of ifs and buts and what ifs, but I think it kind of makes sense now that it's kind of come to its conclusion.
That's where it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And the Pac-12 is holding media days here in Vegas Friday, and they're doing, I think, a one-day thing. And they've already said, like, they're trying to be preemptive. They're trying to get in front of this. There will be no announcements on the TV deal. And I talked to a lot of people here who cover both leagues and know people in both leagues. There is a lot of angst at Colorado. From the more people I talk to from the Denver area who know people at the University of Colorado, who know the athletic director, who know the president, and DC, I know you're more familiar maybe even than I am with that situation. The longer this Pac-12 thing drags, the more angst there is. And I think that's why the Big 12 hasn't really done anything. I think the Big 12 is still thinking they can flip Colorado, and then can they peel an Arizona or an Arizona State or a Utah or somebody else away. And the longer the Pac-12 deal goes on unresolved, the more angst there is. And look, at some point, do I think the Pac-12 is going to get something done? Yeah. Do I think at some point the Pac-12 is going to reach out to San Diego State? I do. And at that point, would San Diego State go? I think so too, if the Pac-12 stays intact. And I just, at some point, they've got to figure that thing out. But there's a lot of angst at Colorado from everything I'm hearing, TC. So
I'm hearing that too. So it'll be very interesting to see how that shakes out, because the people I've talked to are all over the board. A lot of them point to Big 12, but no one's for sure. That's one thing that's common.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, there's a few things I want to do on the Sports Animal today. I want your thoughts, and there were two relatively big events yesterday. Enchantment beating Austin, what was it, Austin's Own, the University of Texas alumni team in the TBT, the basketball tournament, 77-66, and the leading scorer in that game was Evan Gilliard, the former Aggie and former UTEP Miner. He's going to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk to him about the tournament, about the game last night, and then moving forward. But if you watched that, I want your thoughts on that. Did you like the meshing? They come together, so to speak, of Lobos and Aggies and high school guys, as opposed to just a UNM alumni team. And the other one last night out at Isotopes Park was Sunderland and New Mexico United. The British Champions League team was in town. It's their preseason. They played a friendly out at the ball pitch. 3-2 Sunderland with the victory. If you were out there last night, your thoughts on the atmosphere, was it different? Was it everything that you thought it was going to be with one of those British teams coming over? So I'd love your thoughts on that at 505-246-0610. Evan Gilliard's going to be with us. I think you'll enjoy this conversation coming up at 9 o'clock. I know you got an alarm at your business, probably an alarm at your home as well. Cameras, it's not enough. Security cameras, alarms, you probably need more. I called IPS, International Protective Service. Years ago, there was a home invasion with some people very, very close, and just added that extra layer of security. IPS keeps the bad guys away. IPS is affordable, private security that protects what you've worked so hard to build. Don't wait to be a victim of vandalism and theft. IPS offers you standing guards and 24-hour patrols. They protect your business. They respond quickly to alarms within 5 to 7 minutes with trained armed security officers, and they prevent loss and damage to your property. It's private security that can save you money. The number is 505-897-2420. That's area code 505-897-2420. You can go online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, making Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses.
And AM 610, the sports animal.
Rory McIlroy, John Rahm just went out. They're on I believe on the second hole now at the Open Championship at Royal Liverpool. Tommy Fleetwood and a guy named Christo Lamprecht are your leaders at the Open Championship. Both of them shot a -5 at 66 today. Stuart Sink, Wyndham Clark. Remember Wyndham Clark? Didn't he just win the U.S. Open? Look at him. He shot a 368, 2 strokes back, along with Alexander Bjork, and Jordan Spieth is in a group with a guy named Jordan, Matthew Jordan, at a -2. And I'll keep you up to date as we go, but a lot of the big names just went out. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us today on The Sports Animal. Couple of big things yesterday. Enchantment over Austin's own 77-66 the Enchantment, that group of local players, state players, basketball players, local ties playing in the basketball tournament, the TBT on ESPN. And they're playing, the winner gets $1 million. They're playing for that. They move on to the second round. We're going to talk to Evan Gilliard coming up at 9 o'clock, the leading scorer in that game, the guy who hit the final shot. And then last night out at the ball pitch, Sunderland over New Mexico United. And I'm asking if you were there. I'd love to hear from you and just how the field was. What was the atmosphere? Was it different? Was it everything that you planned on with the British fans coming in? Because it's preseason for them, so they're getting ready for their season. Lots of NFL stuff. There's a little bit of a trade. Well, not a little bit of a trade. A minor trade, I think, in the NFL today. But anything that involves a receiver, excuse me, and Aaron Rodgers, it feels like it's bigger than maybe it is. But they traded away. Did the Jets a receiver to the Lions for draft picks today? Denzel Mims moves from the Jets to the Lions in exchange for draft picks, and obviously, as a 6th or 7th guy, he wasn't going to get a whole lot of time. I want to get into the holdout stuff a little bit and see where we go. And I know we talked about Saquon Barkley and his conversation about I might hold out and say bleep you to the Giants, and I might do that, and it's not who I am. How do you feel? And DC, I want to bring you in a little bit on this one too, because I don't know what kind of leverage you have, and I'm not sure what Saquon Barkley's end game is here. There is nowhere to go, okay? The NFL rules say you needed to sign your extension if you were tagged as a franchise player. And look, nobody wants to be tagged as the franchise. They all want the only reason you tag somebody as a franchise player is you have not come to terms on a long-term deal, so you have them for 1 year at a higher number. It's like, I think, top 5 at your position, right? And so he was going to make $10.1 million this year if he signs the franchise tag. They have a deadline of Monday, last Monday, so it's passed, to come to agreement on a deal. And for whatever the reason, again, I don't understand why there is a deadline. Why can't they sign it, but they can't? So they didn't come to an agreement. So he has no choice other than play on the franchise tag and make $10.1 million, $10.091 million, or don't play and don't get paid, or hold out and get your contract docked for whatever you know. But with him going on the podcasts and saying how unhappy he is and how disrespected he is and how valuable he is, I'm not sure I understand what his point is now. What is your intent? Why didn't you do that before and use your leverage and try to put pressure on the Giants to give you whatever it is that you wanted? And DC, you told me the Giants offered him $13 million, but it wasn't enough guaranteed. So I'm not certain I understand what he's trying to do right now.
Well, I'm not totally sure he knows what leverage is, because as soon as that deadline, hit, it's gone. He has none.
He has none.
Right. So it's confusing. Now, the podcast you referenced actually was, if I remember correctly, he did that last week, I believe. So it was actually before.
Oh, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes. So he was, at the time, did have leverage, actually. But he just didn't know how to use it, I think.
When did that podcast hit then? I hadn't heard any of those things until Tuesday of this week?
Last week. So
okay. I didn't hear any of that last week.
Yeah, let me pull it up. I'll get the exact date, but it was before the deadline. So it was kind of an interesting conversation. It's a money-based podcast, so I mean they were talking specifically about those types of things. But yeah,
understand.
The
all right. So then it makes more sense to me.
Yeah, it does, and I think that's one, because a lot of people have referenced this podcast, and it came out I think yesterday on ESPN, but they forgot to mention that this was. Time-wise before the deadline. So it does have a total.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Okay, I didn't see that it was before. Because I look at it, typically you will hold out like Zach Martin may do, the offensive lineman, the guard, the all-pro for the Dallas Cowboys, because you want a better deal. Typically you're going to hold out and say, look, man, I'm not coming to work until you pay me. And they come to terms and dude gets paid. Well, he can hold out, and they cannot pay him. The rules preclude them from giving him what he wants now. He needed to get it done before Monday. We have these windows. The deadlines always create pressure, and we tend to always get deals done, whether it's a labor stoppage, whatever it is. We always tend to get it done right at the deadline. It's like anything else you do, man. You got deadlines, you plan, but then it comes right down to the minute, and you're figuring out. You can order something now, and you think, I'm buying my Christmas shopping now, but you're still running around the night before Christmas anyway, right? They have these big, open, wide windows with an obvious deadline that's on the calendar, and they can't get it done. And you race the night before, and we got 2 hours to get this done, man. Dude, you had 2 months. You had 2 years. I don't know where they're going to go now. I mean, Saquon can talk about it all he wants. And again, it's this running back situation. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the Money Matters podcast was what he was on, and that was on July 11th.
Oh, that was a week before. Okay.
Yeah, so it changed.
All right, well, that makes more sense. And why did it just hit everywhere in the last 2 days?
Because I don't think anyone's ever heard of that podcast until they realized Saquon was on it.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Because it came out over the last 2 days. It was like, dang, why is he saying this now?
Yeah, when
but
you
again,
look it up, it says
there's nowhere to go.
It's almost as if it broke like 16 hours ago because ESPN picked it up, CBS
Right.
picked it up. They all did at the same time, and they were late to the ball game on that one.
This just somebody somewhere find this thing and go, oh wow. I mean, it makes no sense to me because, like I said, there is nowhere to go. All right, speaking of nowhere to go, when we come back, I mean, there's seemingly nowhere to go at Northwestern. That quagmire there at one of America's most respected educational institutions, the legal problems, and it feels like every hour the allegations and the legal problems for Northwestern are getting worse. I'm going to bring you the latest on the hazing scandal and the situation at Northwestern. And then at 9 o'clock, Evan Gilliard, the former Aggie basketball player who scored 16 points in Enchantment's win last night, will join us from Lubbock. And we'll talk about his game, their game, and what's next for Enchantment. It's the opening drive, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in today on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is
All your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico. Call 505-821-9543.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
M610, the sports animal.
Rory McIlroy just narrowly missed a birdie on number 3. He's 1 under after 3 holes of the Open Championship. Christo Lamprecht and Tommy Fleetwood are your leaders as the first round is underway at Royal Liverpool. Sorry, not sure what got in my throat. Opening drive, Jeff and DC. All right, we got a problem at Northwestern that is. Again, allegations are allegations, but there are so many. This hazing thing, you've got Ben Crump, the attorney, the civil rights attorney involved. You've got 2 lawsuits already filed, a bunch more that are sitting around. A second one has been filed, and Crump hasn't even filed his yet. He says it's a civil rights issue. This all is around what started out as the hazing allegations in the football program that got Pat Fitzgerald fired to now what is being claimed to be a rampant culture of hazing throughout the entirety of the athletic program. Anonymous players and named players are coming out saying the hazing and the abuse was everywhere. They've named the athletic director, the president, the coaches, the former athletic director, the commissioner. They're all over the place. That it was in volleyball, and it was in softball, and it was in baseball, and it was in football, and that this thing was everywhere. You've got a quarterback named Lloyd Yates putting his name and his face on this. He was a quarterback at Northwestern from 2015 to 2017. Quote from Lloyd Yates on the fact that Pat Fitzgerald, the coach, and his lawyers are saying that the coach knew nothing about it. Yates says, quote, "I find it hard to believe that coaches were not aware of what was taking place. A lot of coaches took part in it in many different manners, and the explicit behavior was so explicit, it was loud. It took place in close proximity to where a lot of staff and trainers were located. It's kind of hard to take a blind eye," end quote. Now, I didn't say how the coaches participated, but DC, when you got, now guys, this is an anonymous, you've got a lot of guys putting their face on it. Ben Crump is the attorney that represented George Floyd's family. He's been in front of all of these civil rights cases. So everything he does now is pretty high profile. There's a comment coming from Fitzgerald, the coach's camp, the fired coach. They're trying to get the civil case thrown out, quote, no arguments were made that would present any substantive, detailed, factual allegations, let alone evidence about Coach Fitzgerald's conduct. The statement made by the lawyers and former students and athletes are failed to cite any specific facts, end quote. This is the kind of stuff I think Baylor. Give me a comparison here, because it's the kind of stuff that knocks you down to a point where you rip this thing down to the studs and start all over again. Am I wrong on that?
No, not at all. The more you read about it, the more this might be one of the worst cases in college, certainly in my lifetime. But it is appalling. It really is.
It might be one of the more widespread. You know, it was stuff you heard out of Baylor and other places. I mean, obviously Penn State might be more repulsive, but I mean, it doesn't make it right. The volume, the apparent volume here is where it feels like this could take the whole thing down. All right, we're going to talk some hoops when we come back. Enchantment wins in the basketball tournament 77-66 last night. They move on to the round of 32. They were led by Evan Gilliard, 16 points. Evan Gilliard scheduled to be with us next. Looking forward to having that conversation and why he thinks, I'm looking forward to asking him, why he thinks this team is different than the ones he's played on in the past and they can win the $1 million prize. It's the opening drive on the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dreams are combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Vaughn.
The basketball tournament, TBT. It's kind of become something you look forward to every summer. And it's been an enchantment team that's taken different forms over the last few years. This is that tournament, the basketball tournament, where teams get put together, players from really all over the world. And it's a field of 64. And then they play for $1 million. And it's a winner-take-all. One team wins $1 million, and you get through the bracket. Yesterday was the first round for the enchantment. The team made up of players with New Mexico ties. It's no longer just Low alumni versus Aggie alumni. They've kind of mixed forces here. They've come together. 77-66, an impressive win over Austin's own, a team of Texas alumni. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta. I'll get back to your phone calls coming up in a little bit. Evan Gilliard led enchantment in scoring last night. The former Aggie and UTEP Minor had 16 points and hit the final shot in the Elam ending, and he joins us this morning from beautiful Lubbock, Texas. Hello, Evan. How you living?
I'm living good, man. I'm living good, fresh off a win, so I'm happy.
Yeah, winning's fun, isn't it? That was impressive, and I know you were struggling a little bit with turnovers, and so hitting the shot last night, right? The ball's in your hand all the time. 9 turnovers is so unlike you, but 16 points is not unlike you. How did you feel that whole thing went last night?
Honestly, it was a good experience. I mean, you know, the turnovers, of course, that's definitely not like me. You know, I'm normally a good, you know, turnover to assist guy. You know, sometimes games like that happen, but I found a way to push through and have confidence, and my teammates had confidence in me to keep giving me the ball and have the ball in my hands. So I was able to step up and knock the shot down at the end of the game.
Man, this team's good. You out rebounded that Texas team. You had 17 offensive rebounds. They had 2. You dominated them on the boards, and you let them stay close, missed some free throws. But I thought Christian Cunningham was terrific. West was good. Bamforth is going to score. I talked to Kenny Thomas, your coach, after the game, and he said, we got a really good team. Do you guys feel like this is a team that could win the $1 million?
Yes, I definitely for sure think we can win $1 million. I mean, we have the right pieces that fit together. We play hard together. We, you know, do the small things on the court. We play as a team. You know, we believe in each other. So those are all, you know, good characteristics to having a great chance to win $1 million.
Evan Gilliard is with us, the former Aggie guard, played at UTEP and is on this Enchantment team that is now a mix. And it's kind of interesting how it all came together. So last year you played on the Panamaniacs. You had 25 points in that game in the pit against the Enchantment. And this year the teams have kind of come together and formed one. And I don't know if that was out of necessity. Guys playing all over the world couldn't come together. But when Brandon reached out and called you, Brandon Mason puts this together, the former Aggie who coached at UNM. When he reached out to you and said, hey, what do you think about changing uniforms? What'd you think?
Yeah, the whole thing of leaving, with state definitely crossed my mind. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. But I mean, I looked at the roster and I seen, we had a couple of players on the roster from New Mexico State. So I was like, it might not be a problem there. The loyalty might not, be a problem with going to play with them, especially since we didn't have our team this year. So somehow, I was happy to find a way to still represent New Mexico in some way, shape, or form.
Now, why is that important to you?
Because they gave me an opportunity coming from UTEP, where a lot of things where I struggled with the whole atmosphere of the fans, and I got a lot of backlash of transferring to New Mexico State because it was a rivalry school. So I mean, they welcomed me in with open arms. No matter if I went to UTEP or anywhere before, they welcomed me with open arms. They supported me, and I never had a support system like that besides New Mexico State.
That's really cool. Evan Gilliard's with us for a few more minutes. He scored 16 points in the final bucket in the Elam ending yesterday, and Enchantment's win in the basketball tournament. Hey, talk about this group. You said a couple of times we play together as a team. We trust each other. You guys have been together for about a week and a half. You got together in Albuquerque. You lose Darrington Hobson. You expected Vance Jackson to be with you. Talk about getting this team to this point, what Kenny has been able to do as a coach. You bring in Craig Snow, who I think you got two coaches who don't have big egos. I know Craig's coaching at Evansville. I think he's a terrific coach. Kenny knows the game. How has this all come together with those guys?
First of all, the coaching staff is amazing. They are players, coaches. They listen to us. They, want our inputs on what we want to do in the game, how we want to defend, pick and rolls, or any type of scheme. And I feel like that goes a long way when you have a coach that listens to the teammates and listen to the players and everything. And that goes a long way because that makes us feel like we can trust them, and then they also can feel like they can trust us. So I feel like that went a long way. And then with our team, the players, we just ain't nothing bigger than winning. We all want individual success, of course, but nothing is bigger than winning, and if we win, then everybody will have individual success, and we all understand that. So it's just amazing that everybody can, take a step back from what their actual game is and just, give what they're supposed to give on this team, because every team is different. You're going to give something different on every team, and it's just amazing that we were able to gel like this.
Yeah, he's former New Mexico State guard Evan Gilliard, who's with us on the opening drive wearing, I guess it was cherry. It was New Mexico Lobo colors, but it said Enchantment, so it makes it okay. You guys could do something. I didn't even really think of this, but the further you go in this, a team that's Aggies and Lobos and high schoolers, and there's been some tensions between New Mexico and New Mexico State over the last years. You guys could go a long way in really easing things and bringing people together, and I hadn't really thought of it, but if people look on the floor and say, look, man, there's a Lobo playing with an Aggie and an Aggie hugging a Lobo, and they're playing together and doing great things. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it until now. Have you guys thought about what that might be able to do to ease some of the tensions?
Yeah, we definitely thought about it, but I don't think any other players will let each other forget about it. We talk about it every day. We have our little jokes.
Nor should you.
We have our little jokes on the side about being from New Mexico State or being from UNM. So I mean, the players won't let each other forget about it. But I mean, as the fans, I think it's amazing for the fans to see us, compete together and be happy with each other, especially with winning and everything. But yeah, I don't think the rivalry. I think it would be more of a fun and friendly rivalry now than the whole, the crazy rivalry it used to be.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Hey, next game's going to be tough. You're playing this team called Air Raiders. It's a bunch of former Texas Tech players. You had the building behind you yesterday because the game's in Lubbock. Texas Tech fans can't stand the University of Texas, and you were playing the University of Texas alumni squad. So you had the crowd behind you. It was like a home game. It's going to be a whole lot different tomorrow when you go out and play this club.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like my teammates and coaches, we all been in that position before where we walk into a gym and everybody has been against us, but I feel like if we come out and we play hard like we did the first game, we defend, we make the right plays, and, we just stay gelled together. No matter what goes on in the game, if they go on a run, we just stay together and just keep pushing the fight through. I think we could really win this game.
Yeah, just a few more minutes. Evan Gilliard's with us, the former the former Aggie playing the Lobo color. Sorry about that. Former Miner, and scored 16 points last night. Do you like the Elam ending? We're talking to DC, our producer, and he wasn't familiar with it. The Elam ending, for those of you not familiar, and that's what's being used in the TBT. At the first stoppage of play with under 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, they take a target score. They take the team that's leading and add 8 points to that team, and that's the target score. The first team to hit that number wins the game. You hit the shot to get you to the Elam ending. You like that?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I feel like it adds extra excitement to the game instead of just, you just run the clock out, with 30 seconds left, and, you have the win, but in order to win, you have to hit a game-winning shot. Man, that adds a lot of excitement to the game. It gets the fans into it and, gets them cheering. So, yeah, I like it.
Dude, how'd that feel when you hit it last night? Are those guys loving on you? You look like you were having a good time. You got to pound your chest a little bit. How'd that feel last night?
It was fun, especially having a game that I struggled a little bit, throughout the game. I had good stretches in the game and more bad stretches in the game. But for me to step up and, knock that shot down and still shoot it with confidence, it was amazing. And then to have that type of reaction from everybody, it made it fun. I mean, not every kid gets to have the dream of, playing in the NBA or something like that. But if a kid can have the dream to hit a game with a shot like that and be able to, be in that moment and live in that moment, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. Hey, I talked to Kenny Thomas after the game, and he said, a lot of our guys are going to get looks. And the further you go, the more games you play, the more scouts see you. I know you played a little bit over in the Czech Republic last year. What do you want to do? What are you able to do as far as your basketball career? Because, man, you can play. Like you obviously can play. You spent some time overseas. How was that experience, and what do you hope that maybe this can open up for you?
I mean, I got blessed last year, different parts and different areas of playing basketball. So I went from, with the Windy City Bulls in the G League, then I went to Asia and played in Vietnam, and then I went to Czech Republic. And they were all great experiences. I learned something different from every single place. So it was an amazing, thing to, be able to do and to have a very good rookie career. It was amazing. But moving forward, I'm just staying patient. I'm just letting everything come to me. My agent is working on some things, and I'm just doing my job by performing on the court and doing what I can on the court and focusing on those things. So, I'm just, being patient. If I have to go back overseas, I would. If I can, find a way into the league or the G League, then I will probably do that as well. But right now, I'm just really just staying patient and just, worrying about what's in front of me and, living in the moment.
It's a lot of different languages in 1 year, Evan. Going from Chicago to Asia to the Czech Republic. How's the language barrier? It's got to be different, huh?
Nah, yeah, it's very different. I had to get used to it. Every place that I went to, I had to get used to it in like 2 weeks. But in Asia, it was actually more people that speak English than they do in their language. So, that was good. It wasn't that difficult to get, adjusted to. But Czech Republic, everybody speaks Czech. So it was that was a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. Well, keep it going, man. You obviously got good things in front of you. Good one last night, the walk-off shot in the Elam ending, and Enchantment wins. They'll play tomorrow in Lubbock against Air Raiders. Appreciate you spending some time with us. It's a good conversation, and it was a heck of a performance last night. Keep it going. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Evan Gilliard. And if you watch him, DC, I didn't even think about it until I was talking to him. You know, the tensions with New Mexico State, whatever happened last year, and there was a lot of junk being talked, and there should be in a rivalry. But it got to the point where it wasn't like it's been around here. And I don't know. Am I Pollyannic by saying if you can watch Aggies and Lobos play together, hugging each other, and if they win, and the further they go, the more it does, I don't know, can that help ease tensions, or am I just living in some fairy tale?
No, I think that's the perfect thing to ease tensions. If they make a run especially, it will bring people together, and that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. All right, you can respond to what you heard. Evan Gilliard was with us on the Sports Animal. We'll post that as well. We're going to hear from Mike DeFee, the coordinator of officiating for Mountain West Conference football, about officiating and how tough that job is. That's coming up at about 9:35, 9:40 today. I'm going to get you an update on the Open Championship when we get back and get you some of your correspondence on the Sports Animal.
Win tickets to All-American.
Pitch. There's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get 1 run back. That one sit on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her. Whoa, what a play.
door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
Now we're here too. Mountain West Conference. Mountain West Conference Media Days going on in Vegas. JJ's down. Well, JJ's off this week, but JJ's here, and he's down doing interviews and with coaches. You heard from Gloria Navarez, the commissioner, and then we're going to hear from Mike Dupree, who's the head of officiating. And I think you're going to enjoy that conversation. The preseason polls came out yesterday. Boise State was the preseason conference favorite, as Boise State has been, I think, since every year since I've been doing this, since they've been in the league anyways. Boise State. Air Force was the second pick, which might surprise some people. I saw Troy Calhoun talk to him yesterday. I think you're going to like the conversation. Dude, they have a offensive lineman named Thor. His first name is Thor. DC, if I'd have taken you in the room and there's every student athlete there, and I said, there's one dude named Thor, you'd have pointed him out within half a second. Like, if any dude looks like his name is Thor, big, blonde, offensive lineman, and just smiled every time he started talking about hitting people. I think you're going to enjoy that. There were some really, really cool conversations. You know, we didn't even talk a lot of football with most of these guys, DC. It wasn't a whole lot of, you know, the X's and O's and what kind of offense are you going to run. It was really learning about these young men and some of their stories, and I thought it was really cool. So I think you'll like these as we play them over the next few weeks. Air Force was the second pick, Fresno State 3, San Diego State 4, San Jose State 5. And so as we don't have divisions this year, right? It'll be interesting to see how we go through an unbalanced schedule and get to a championship game. Wyoming 6, Colorado State 7, Utah State 8, UNLV 9, Hawaii 10, Nevada 11, and the Lobos were picked to finish last in the Mountain West Conference. We'll see how it goes, and you know, polls are polls, and very rarely are they right, but sometimes they are. So we'll play it out. 505-246-0610, how to get in here on The Sports Animal. And I'll be back in studio tomorrow, which actually I'm kind of looking forward to being back. 114, dude. Like you guys are hot. 102, 103 is hot. I don't know where the number is at temperature where you just feel the difference, where it goes from feeling like, wow, it's really hot, to holy smoke, it feels like you're in the oven. Like, you know what I mean? 114 is warm. Went outside and it was like 100 at 8 o'clock at night last night. It was nuts.
100 at 8 o'clock is nuts. I'd say about
well, it was over that. It was over that. Is that where you think?
Yeah. When it's the dry heat, as they like to call it out here, there's something about it when
right.
you get close to that 100 mark, it changes. It changes quickly.
As they like to call it out here, well, it is dry, right?
Oh, it's very dry. It is very dry.
Yeah. All right. Do we need to hit this break right now? Is that where we are? I need to hit this break and then.
Some time.
All right. I didn't know where you wanted me to go on this. Let me give you an update on the leaderboard at the Open Championship, as you've got some of the big names that are out there right now. You've got a guy named Christo Lemprecht leading the Open. He's an amateur. He's at -5. He shot a 66. Tommy Fleetwood's also at -5. He shot a 66. And then Stuart Sink and Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark, the U.S. Open Championship. or champion at -3. Jordan Spieth was at -2, and then you got guys that are out on the course right now that are trying to get stuff done. Rory's at -1. Dustin Johnson at 1 over par, still on the course, and Adam Scott finished at 1 over today. Jason Day 1 over today. Phil Mickelson, even after 2, he's out there. And Rory actually dropped a shot. He bogeyed number 4, so he's at even par. So I'll keep you up to date on it. If you're looking for it when you get to the office, USA Network is where it is. I had to bounce around and try to find it. I did get something on. Let me find that again. I did get something on. I was asking if you went out to United and Sunderland last night. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And this is from Bourne. I don't know if he was there or not, but he's in. He says on the dividers, it was what, Jeff, 100-degree midweek game with 8,000 an ounce, probably closer to 4,000 in the gym. I don't know how many were there. I saw a little bit of it. I do understand it was hot. It's the middle of summer, man. It amazes me when people say, wow, they played in January and it was cold. It was really cold. Well, yeah, man. It's cold in January and it's hot in July. Sometimes it's hotter, sometimes it's colder. I don't know what to tell you. Rod says Christmas in July. Jeff, I'm in heaven. How many times so far have you heard a coach talk about buying in? That might be my new favorite word coming out of Vegas, buy in. We haven't talked to the coaches yet. So I haven't heard that yet. Harold's looking forward to Lobo Volleyball. Where is summer gone? Jeff, we're now less than 1 month until Lobo Volleyball plays an international friendly against Highland. All right. You'll find out, DC, as we go through it. Everybody's got their little niche. Harold loves Lobo Volleyball. And he wants to know why they're not winning more. Okay. Fair enough. That's Harold's thing.
Well, I'll tell you, Harold, I love volleyball too. I've actually torn a knee playing volleyball. I absolutely love it. So
did you really?
I did. It's wild. I was about 10 miles south of Arrowhead Stadium playing in a tournament. Tore it on the same day that Tom Brady tore his.
Check you out. You and Tommy, you're torn ligament brothers?
Yes, we are.
Torn ligament.
What's really funny is my doctor, Dr. Scott Llewellyn, was actually the Patriots team doctor, did Parcells.
Really?
True story.
Look at you. All right. All right, let's take the break. 505-246-0610. When we come back, and I'm asking you, I'm going behind the scenes just because I can't talk to you. There's one more before we hit Mike DeFee, right?
This was going to be the one for DeFee.
Okay. Well, when we come back then, you will hear a conversation with the director of officiating in the Mountain West Conference. And his name is Mike DeFee. You'll hear that next. See, you're going to like this. We're going to learn about officiating, and he talks about specifically some of the junk that they go through, some of the stuff that they hear. I asked him specifically, hey, what's the worst thing that you've ever heard that you've had to deal with being a football official? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Registration is now open.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sound of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At U.S. Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a medical.
So there's a lot of conversations to have at the conference media days. And a lot of it's about, we worked hard and the kids are prepared and the staff is good and we're ready and culture. I haven't heard culture yet. And buy-in and that stuff. And then there's other stories. And that's the stuff that, stuff that I don't plan on hearing when I come over here is the stuff I think you enjoy the most. And so I was presented the opportunity, JJ and I were yesterday, to talk to Mike DeFee, who's the new head of officiating for the Mountain West Conference. And I said, sure, we'll talk to him for a minute and, we'll see. And I think JJ and I both walked away going, wow, that was really cool. And this isn't just about rules. And it's about how do you get into it? How do you advance? The abuse people are taking, the changes in officiating. Look, man, you're going to listen. He's a referee, and he's technical, and he's very serious. He doesn't play around a lot. But I think you're going to enjoy this conversation. So here is the Mountain West Conference director or head of officiating for football, Mike DeFee. I guess it says who you are. You could say host of the opening drive on the Sports Animal, or executive director of New Mexico Bowl, or most hated guy in the region. Coordinator of officials may be exactly what that is. That's Mike DeFee, the coordinator of officiating for the Mountain West Conference. Good to see you. Congratulations on the position.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it might be condolences too, but it's officiating is a big part of our game, and it's probably the most thankless part of the game. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think about it in this term. Imagine that you're an individual and you're going into a courtroom. You want to stand in front of a judge who's fair and balanced, that's going to hear you. You wouldn't want that person to be impartial. To be partial, right? So you want that person to be impartial, and that's our role in the game.
So, how is it tough finding people to officiate at this level? Has it gotten any tougher with that?
It has more because it's harder and harder to get young people into officiating at the high school level. There's just no money in it. You take a lot of abuse, and I would tell you that for every 10 officials who begin officiating at the high school level, we probably lose 7 or 8 of them.
Because of the abuse? Because they don't want to deal with the crowd?
Yeah, well, coaches, crowd, and, because at the end of the day, you don't just do high school football. You do Pop Warner football, and you deal with some real people that think they're Nick Saban, and it just becomes for the amount of money, it just doesn't make sense for them.
What's the worst situation you've ever had to deal with from someone in the crowd?
Oh gosh, again, I would just
probably the youth level. Huh?
It definitely would be the youth level, and I mean, there's been people out there who are quite frankly embarrassing. They're embarrassing to themselves. They're embarrassing to their kids, and it's just it's tough. It's tough to deal with that. But at the end of the day, every football official that I know has a passion and a love for the game. We don't do it for the money. Absolutely do not do it for the money.
Mike DeFee is the coordinator of officials. It was easier to say the most hated guy in the region. Coordinator of officials for the Mountain West Conference.
You look at the sport of football. What is the most challenging thing that officials have to deal with now with the way the game is played?
Well, there's so many different things. One, I'd say the speed of the game, the pace of the game has changed significantly. You guys can think back not that long ago where the game was 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and it's anything but that. We've gone from 150 play game to 180 play game, plays per game, and certainly with media, football's never been more popular. So there's just so many more cameras, and the scrutiny of the game with the CFP and everything that's at stake, the scrutiny has gone up significantly. So those are all challenges, but there's challenges that we have to accept as a football official. And you understand, look, we're human beings too. Just like a coach looks and evaluates and grades their offensive linemen and defensive linemen and their performance, you get someone in the 80s. That grades out in the 80s as a football player, that's pretty good. You get someone in officiating that grades out in the 80s, they're fired. So our officiating accuracy our expected accuracy for us is going to be 97% or greater. So I think you'd be amazed. I think fans would be amazed when you look at the end of the year and the statistical data that we look at and the accuracy. The officials are really better than most people think they are. They get fixated on one play here or there that happens, and those are the
only
things
against them, though.
It's always that case.
When you look at the evolution of the game, the rules that come about, how much are you involved in the conversations with coaches and leagues of what they want to see changed or voted on or implemented in the future?
I always, first of all, we have in college football we have a rules committee, and so there's a process and so I always encourage coaches, if you have heartburn about something, submit it to the rules playing committee. And if you have opportunities, pull plays and for evidence to show them things that need to be corrected in the game. And then so we do a survey. The NCAA sends out a survey to all of our officials and coordinators every year, and we have an opportunity to make our voice known, and then it goes to the rules committee, and then ultimately they decide. And from the rules committee, once they decide on things, it goes to a prop committee, and that prop committee either agrees to accept it, or sometimes they'll kick things out.
Mike DeFee, the coordinator of officiating for Mountain West Football, is with us. Mike, JJ and I talk about this a lot. There's always something added. There's always a new rule. There's always they don't take anything away. My contention always is you're putting more and more on these officials who have so much to look for. Yeah, you're going to miss something. Yeah, how many things can you look at on a certain play? And I talk about whatever the emphasis is, right? Each year they have an emphasis, hands to the face, or what are you going to let the cornerback do in regards to 5 yards and being able to touch a receiver? And it's impossible to make a call on a one-on-one receiver versus cornerback play. I see you shaking your head. I bring this up to JJ 5-6 times a year. what do you expect from these people? Because you put so much on them, you can only do so much.
I expect consistency. It's a little bit like a baseball umpire, okay? When a baseball umpire, when he figures out what his strike zone is, maybe he's given an inch outside.
And just do it the same way.
Be consistent with both teams all night long, because then players can adjust to what you're doing out there. So it's extremely important that we be consistent. So the tenets of our program, not only from a training, development, evaluation system, but we want to be consistent and we want to be transparent, so that when we make a mistake, we want to own that mistake.
Do you often say, are there times where you're like, I missed that one? I mean, wouldn't a coach rather you say,
absolutely,
I missed it, man. Just like you should have called a run instead of going wide on that, instead of throwing the ball on third down. I missed it.
Absolutely,
and they probably appreciate that.
There's been conversations where we've had coach explains what he saw on the play, and I'll say, Coach, if it happened the way you saw it, then we missed it. We missed that. I didn't see that, but if that's the case, then we missed it. So there's going to be times when you've got 22 players on the field and you got 8 officials, you're just not going to see everything. But an elite official, and this is where we're going to really be training. You talk about good physical conditioning, and you have to have great rules and philosophical knowledge. So when philosophical knowledge is more about the spirit and intent of the rule and how we apply it on the field on a consistent basis. But we just want to be as consistent out there as we possibly can on both sides of the football. We want to establish a threshold in the game. Whatever that threshold is, we want to be consistent with that threshold. And we call it on that side, we want to call it on that side. And again, we're not going to be perfect, but that is absolutely our goal.
With the way the game is consumed, the camera angles, the amount of cameras, the replay that's come in, do you like how much it is involved, that you get to see everything, the reviews, or has that been even a process for officials that everything is scrutinized?
Well, yeah, again, I think it's great for the game. Technology is great for the game. It's great for the consumer of the game. Obviously, as a football official, we've got one shot at it, and that's why what I was saying a little bit earlier, it's the elite official really learns how to use his or her eyes effectively, and so that on any given play, I might look at 4 to 7 blocks on a play that lasts 6 or 7 seconds. That's elite work, okay? You can't be just fixated on one thing. So you really have to take your game to the next level to be that accurate on that one shot. Now, as it relates to replay, the extra camera shots certainly help us. Now, again, replay's not there to fix everything. It's there to correct the mistakes that are correctable by rule, whether it's targeting, whether it's fumble or down by rule, catch, no catch. So the more technology we have, the better we have of getting it right. And at the end of the day, that's what we want to do, is get it right.
College football, it feels like one of the most debated things is targeting. How tough is that in the moment? Like, bang, bang, it's football, it's a contact sport, to be able to make that decision.
It's tough. It's tough. But at the end of the day, as football officials, our job is to make sure that we do the very best to try to preserve our players, okay, so that when they're my age, they have their faculties. That's the goal. Our first role in officiating is the safety, health, and well-being of our players. And I'm much rather be on the safe side, because here's where replay can help us. When we teach our officials on the field, if it looks like targeting, throwing it, because replay is going to re-officiate. It's the only element, it's the only play in the game where replay actually goes back and re-officiates the play, and we either are going to confirm it, the call on the field, or we're going to take it off. If we can't confirm it, we're taking it off. So at the end of the day, and I'll say this, I was on the rules committee when they brought targeting in as a disqualification. I want to say that was back in either 12 or 13.
Hated that.
I don't remember what year, but what the average person doesn't realize is how much litigation is out there over head injuries. And so we have to get our hands, and we have gotten our hands around this, and I think we're better, and the players are better off for it down the road.
I was going to let you go, but I have this conversation all the time on targeting. The head's got to go somewhere, right? And they've retaught the way you tackle now, right? Where the head goes, the whole mechanics of tackling. But sometimes at the speed at which these athletes are moving, heads are going to hit. And I always, as a consumer of the game, I sit there and think the head's got to go somewhere. And I know intent is not something that you take into consideration, but it almost feels like you should be, because he could do everything right, and the other guy's head moves, and heads hit. That's part of football. You cannot take that completely out of the game. I appreciate where you're going with the wellness piece.
There's no question, and let me tell you, every time two heads meet doesn't mean that it's targeting.
That's been my point.
There is contact that's called incidental. But what I would tell you is what we try to tell players is lower your contact zone. Lower. You don't have to strike at the shoulders. Take the shoulders out of it. Strike from chest to waist.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell people is lower your strike zone.
Yeah, and I mean, the speed at which the game is played, sometimes it doesn't happen. Really enjoyed the conversation. Best of luck this season. Hopefully nobody knows who you are, right?
Absolutely.
That's the best way. If they don't know your name, that's when this thing's going well.
That's our goal, and I'll tell you, I always enjoy going to Albuquerque. I worked in Texas A&M in New Mexico many years ago, so it's always a pleasure going up. Albuquerque's a beautiful place, and I won't get a chance to see our venues because of Collaborative Replay. We'll be in Dallas every week, but anyway, good luck to you guys up there in the pretty mountains of Albuquerque.
Be well.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports.
The targeting conversation for me, and you know this, has been, it's one that is so frustrating when you watch a game, and I understand the concept. I appreciate that they're trying, it's about safety, and I believe Mike DeFee is about the safety. I don't know, you watch a lot of football. You watch the games, in college football even more so than the pros. The targeting, I hate the instant disqualification piece to it. I just despise that part of it because, like I told Mike, I think so much of it, and you can't judge intent. The game is so fast. The athletes are so big, and the head has to go somewhere. And you can do everything you think right. And he says, lower the strike zone from the shoulders to the belt. Well, that strike zone is so small, right? And things happen, man. Guys move. Guys move quickly. Guys move quickly in places that you don't expect them. And there's cases that there's obvious targeting, that there's intent, that you can tell. And Mike was saying you can see intent. I don't know that you can all the time. That's one of the targeting thing in college football is one of the things that infuriates me the most when I watch games.
Yeah, that instant disqualification it's tough because you're right. How can you really know what's going on in that second when you're moving so fast? Sometimes it is obvious, and that's kind of easy to call. But I do, when I hear about that, that's a judgment call made very quickly and can have a huge impact on a game or even a season. So that's an interesting.
Yeah, he did say the targeting is the only rule that you can go back and review and say we made a mistake. Basically, what he used the term, but take the call away. Say no flag on that, and I appreciate that part of it. And there have been times where you see it, and they say, "Oops, we made a mistake." The other part was when I asked him, "You ever say to the coach, hey man, I missed it?" Like, what do you say? And he says, he doesn't say it that way, but he says, well, if it happened the way you say, then I made a mistake. I didn't see it that way, but if it happened the way you say, if you're a coach at that point, what do you say? Well, you bleeping need to see it. Like what do you say in the moment? Because they do make mistakes. But what did he say? He said 97%, 96% of the calls they make are the right calls when they grade out. It's a pretty high percentage. We never say, hey, that was a good call by the referee, because we expect, well, he should make that call. But think about it. He's like, I look at how many blocks on one play. In 3 seconds, I'm looking at 8 blocks. I'm trying to make a determination. I've said a lot of times, man, they've got a tough job, and we keep throwing more rules at them, more stuff at them, it's hard, man. It's and who wants to do it? And he was saying, I don't know if you caught early in the conversation, who wants to be a referee? Who wants to go out there and take that abuse? And the amount of guys that are just saying, screw it, I don't need it. And it comes from the majority. When I asked him, what was the worst thing you've ever dealt with? And it was at the youth level, right? It's doesn't matter. It's the parents are embarrassing the kids. The parents are embarrassing themselves. I mean, you've seen it. It's crazy, isn't it? But I don't know. Yeah, I hope you found that interesting. I just, like I said, I sat down with the official, and it was interesting. Well, each year at New Mexico Bowl, we talk to the officials, we bring them in and have those conversations that I find them fascinating. So it was good. All right, the Open Championship is going on. Your leader is still an amateur. Christo Lamprecht shot a 68, a 5 under 68. Tommy Fleetwood then went out and did the same thing. So those are the two guys who are at the top of the leaderboard, and then you've got a lot of big names still out there. Stuart Sink is at -3. A guy named Antoine Rosner. Antoine Rosner Frenchman, -4. He just finished up. So he's in third place. And then Wyndham Clark, when the U.S. Open, is at -3. Jordan Spieth is at -2. And again, your leaders are at 5 under. Some other names that are out there. Xander Schauffele shot a 1 under today. He is done, so he shot a 70. He's 4 back. Brooks Koepka, 1 under. He's done for the day, along with Hideki Matsuyama and Scotty Scheffler and Patrick Reed. All of those guys 1 under par, and they are done for the day. Phil Mickelson's on the golf course. He's through 4. He is at 1 under par. It's going to be interesting to watch how he plays. Sepp Straka, even par. John Rahm, even par right now as we go through it. So it's we'll start getting a good sense by the time I'll be sitting with you tomorrow. I get to bring back all the gifts from Vegas, by the way. Have you they moved Media Day, so it's been over on the Strip for all these years. It was at Cosmopolitan for a lot of years. Last year it was the Mandalay Bay. They moved it downtown to the Circa, this brand new. Did I send you a picture of the view outside the room of the pool? Did I send that to you?
You did.
It's
that was quite impressive.
The stadium pool. It's unbelievable.
I like it.
But the stadium pool, yeah. So right now, like I look out there and they've got the open on this big giant TV. But we went out on Fremont Street. Have you been downtown Vegas in a while?
Downtown Vegas is really,
it's a pretty
really
good
fun.
freak show.
I think I've heard it called
it's
the most
a pretty
psychedelic
good freak
street
show.
in the country.
It is yes. I mean, I don't know that JJ had ever been down there.
So
we took a little walk last night. No. And the Strip is a freak show.
It is.
The Strip is, but this is a wow.
Fremont, yeah. It'll change the way you look at Vegas, that's for sure.
It might. Yeah, I'd been downtown in a while, but it was good. All right, so today is the coaches. You have the all-conference team. Players went back. I think Dante Martin. I talked to the Lobo players yesterday. Now, we didn't do interviews with them. They both, Dante Martin was on with us Monday, and Dylan Hopkins, the quarterback, was on with us last week. So we didn't sit down with them and put them on tape. But I spent a good amount of time with them yesterday, and just wanted to see their impressions of Media Day. What questions did you hear the most? And like Dylan said, one guy asked me, "Do I think Coach G's on the hot seat?" I'm like, wow, it's a tough one. What'd you say? He's like, well, no, I don't. I just got here, and the office is going to turn it around. That's what it was really interesting, their perspective, and they both said the media really doesn't think we're going to be very good. Like most people, they're trying to be nice, but they really, it's like this weird disrespect. And I said to them, you guys are picked last, and a distant last, right? Wouldn't you rather just be picked last and nobody thinks you have a chance to pick like 10th out of 12? Well, they'll be a little better. They'll win a few games. They're better than those two teams. But, wouldn't you just rather just get the full disrespect so you could turn around and just say bleep you at everyone? I don't know. Nobody wants to finish last, but this doesn't matter. So if you want to pick me last, because I finished last a year ago, I guess that's fine. But the perspective from those two young men going around and talking to the media, the people who cover this league, I thought was an interesting perspective as they just ran the gamut from the TV guys to the network guys to really the locals. So there's I think there's about 15, 16 local radio. ESPN Honolulu's here. Fresno stations are going live from here. Certainly Vegas, Boise. So there was a good contingency, but I thought that perspective was really, really interesting as I talked to the Lobo guys. They're back home. Thank you to Gloria Navarez, the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference. She was with us today. Evan Gilliard, the former Aggie guard who scored 16 for Enchantment last night, was with us today from Lubbock. And Mike DeFee, the director of officiating for the Mountain West Conference. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Coward will follow that. 2 Men On comes your way at 4 o'clock, and then you get Isotopes of Baseball. I believe they to be in Sugar Land this week. Adrian, great work. Appreciate you. It looked really good on the visual side. DC, good work. Keep throwing curveballs at you, and I apologize, but I'll be home tomorrow. I'll be right there in studio drinking coffee with you if that's cool. Be good to each other. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Have a wonderful Thursday, boys and girls.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures.